A new day of national strike in Colombia, social protests entering their third week there. What started as a tax revolt, now including calls to end police and paramilitary violence and to preserve public health care. For more, let's cross to Bogota and correspondent Simone Bruno. Simone, what's the latest where you are?
Okay, so I'm in the middle of the city of Bogota. Today has been called as another day of national strike, so there is a difference between the normal protests that go on every day with the blockades all around the country and the big demonstration that happen like this one. At the moment in the city of Bogota there are at least between 10 and 12 big demonstrations with a lot of people, thousands of people participating. It's really hard to understand and to give you a figure of how many people are on the street. Anyway, the city is completely paralyzed, as is almost all the country. And as you said, the demonstration is going on for starting the third week of protest. And the tax bill, which was the beginning of the demonstration, has been taken away from the table by the president. There's also a negotiation going on between the president and at least 18 of the organizations behind the strike. But so far, the organizers, they said that the government, they don't want to listen to them. So that's why they called for another big day, and this is what is going on at the moment here in Colombia.
It's going on in Colombia, and a lot of the attention, Simone, since the outbreak of these protests has been on the city of Cali.
Yeah, absolutely. The city of Cali, this is part of a department that reached down to the Pacific coast, which is the poorest area of the country. The city itself receives a lot of people coming from the Pacific coast and is one of the most impoverished cities because of the pandemic, of the COVID pandemic. So you can see that the demonstrations that go on in Bogota as well as in Cali with much more strength are demonstrations that are dictated by the economical situation that was really bad already. 35% of the population was in a poverty state before the pandemic, now rise to an incredible 42%. And the city of Cali is one of the cities that has been most affected. It's also one of the cities that lived most of the violence. At the moment, the international organizations that are monitoring the protests in Colombia, they counted 40 people killed by the police, most of them in Cali, not all in Cali, but most of them there. And other 7 people that have been killed by civilians, which we can call like paramilitaries as well, because we saw how they act. They just come down from their houses from a very high-class neighborhood and start to shoot on people. There are videos of them shooting to indigenous people, which are protesting as well in Cali.
Yeah, and you mentioned the paramilitaries. It's a question we've all been asking, which is, you have the police and you have the paramilitaries. Who are they?
Yeah, so at the beginning of the demonstration, the first week and a half, most of the violence was committed by the police. Then there was an international protest, and international attention started to focus on Colombia, and the violence shift. In some cases, the protesters say that the people in civilians' outfit shooting to the protesters are policemen themselves in civilians' outfit. And another case is clearly people of the city of Cali especially, or the city of Pereira as well, that come on the street and start shooting. Apart from them, there is information that also what is called oficinas. Oficinas is a name they use in Cali to call these narco-paramilitaries organizations. And there is information that they have been alerted to start to repress the protest. So there is a mix of police violence, which is at the moment directly is decreasing. What the protesters call police in disguise, like with civilian outfit, shooting at the protesters as well. Then you have civilians and you have these oficinas, which are basically narco-paramilitaries organizations which are coming to repress the protests as well.
Many thanks for that live updates. Simone Bruno reporting from Bogota, Colombia. A new global system